welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am your host, Doni Jones, and today on our show we have a awesome guest that is doing great things in the community, and y'all already know that's my passion, that's where my heart is, the community. But not only is she doing great things in the community, she's an amazing communicator, and she's somebody that you all might already know, and I'm talking about none other than Twanda Black.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you for being on the show. I'm really excited to have you. Now, Twanda, most people might know you from your radio show and from being in the community and doing great things, but I wanted to interview you because I think you have a great story. You know, in other words, you basically what they say, pulled yourself up from your bootstrap, built a career, and it wasn't just an overnight thing. No. So people see you and they think it's an easy game, but why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Well, my goodness, definitely pull myself up. I was a young girl, majored in public relations and journalism. Thought I was going to have this big career in PR, and open my own business. I started out as an entrepreneur at 21, 22, and didn't quite work out.
Hey, let me tell you something. That happens sometimes.
But it didn't work out because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. It didn't work out simply because people were not ready for what I had.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you a story. I want to tell the story.
Please do.
Just tell the
and what
story.
kind of business was it, though?
It was a PR business.
Okay, great.
So during that time, I think it was the 80s.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do was I recognized that in the church community, that churches did not have their newsletters. They didn't have their collateral, nothing matched up.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing all their stuff. Right. I was branding before I knew what branding was.
Right.
And I had 3 clients, 3 great churches here that I started with. I began to do all of their collateral material, doing the branding, and the wives saw me.
Oh my goodness.
That was a little bitty little something. little bitty little. I wasn't thinking about nobody over husband. Okay? Let me just be honest.
Exactly. I think it was the other way around. Probably.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They were really interested in getting their church name out there, getting their newsletters together, doing all of that.
Absolutely.
And they fired me piece by piece.
Oh my goodness.
Because of the wives. And the wives was like, you're not going to work with this young lady.
Yeah.
And so that was a big lesson for me at 22.
What do you think the lesson was? Because, I mean, you can't help that you're just a cute little thing.
Well, the lesson is that I think a lot of times business is about relationship.
That's right.
And regardless of what a wife may think about her husband, who may have given her reason to be jealous or given her reason to be suspect, that perhaps I needed to befriend the wife first.
You know that it's funny, and I know we're going to get into your story, but I'm in sales also. I run a little tree curd company. My big.
It's not company. A little tree curd company.
It's a good size.
Thank you.
But one of the first things we learned in sales was to talk to the wife. You know, give the wife your energy, and then you'll bring the husband.
Right. Because the husbands were easy, the wives were a different story.
Different story.
So I got fired. Piece by piece. I really, literally, and I went home and I cried to my mom and I said, I don't understand. I don't want them old men.
Right. Like I want a young.
I want my own husband.
So how did we get into journalism and to where you were obviously there's from the 20-year-old cutie. That's where you started. Yeah.
So at 24, I got my first job right here in Atlanta, and it was so funny. I was working as a proofreader at a printing company. Because, I could proof.
That's your...
And a friend of mine said, there's a job over at the radio station as a receptionist. I was like, cool, I'll take another job.
Yeah.
I had chick, no child.
Now, were you trying to get on the radio? You were just, okay.
I was not.
Okay.
At all. And so I took the job, and I was moving dirty stuff every day, cleaning out prized closets, doing all that stuff, getting my clothes all dirty. And one day I went into the program director and I said, I can do what your people are doing. He sat back, he looked at me. He was like, really, he's a big dude. His name was Byron Davis, I believe, at that time.
Why does that sound familiar?
He used to be a programmer.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
And this was in 84. 84. And he said, you really think you can do what they do? I said, absolutely. Now, again, little bitty little.
That's all right.
Whatever.
That's right.
And he said, okay.
Yeah.
You're on Friday. This was Wednesday. I've never been so afraid in my life. Just scared, okay? And so he had this guy train me. I'm trying to remember his name. Bobby. His name was Bobby. So Bobby trained me for 2 days.
Yeah.
And I went on Friday night at midnight. And it was WIGO, the heart and soul of the city at the time.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Had a
ma'am.
little show.
And the rest is history, as they say. Yeah. So I started right here.
Right
in the
here
city.
in the city, and you've made Atlanta your home, obviously.
I
Or Atlanta
have.
is your home.
Well, in my first full-time job, because that was part-time, my first full-time job, I worked at the St. Petersburg station in a trailer. You had to drive down a little dirt road in an orange grove. And it opened up, and there was
And this is in
little-
Florida, right?
In Florida.
Oh my goodness.
And there was this one-part trailer back there. That was my first.
That was your first
full-time job. Oh my God.
So that's a little bit far away from where we are today.
Girl.
But you know, the reason why I want you to tell those stories is because people do see people like you, or they, you know, even in the industry that I'm known for, they see people like me and they think it was like, oh, well, y'all had it.
Right.
Somebody
You got it
helped
made,
y'all out.
right.
And it didn't happen like that,
did
you
not.
know? And my frustration is I see young people with so much energy right now, and they're so tech savvy, but the work ethic that it takes to get to that next level.
I was at a career fair here for Cox and talking to the students. They were coming by the table, and this little girl came by and she said, "What do you do?" So when I explained to her, she said, "Oh, how much money do you make?" I said, "First of all, that's none of your business, little girl."
Right.
But then she said, "Well, I want your job." I said, "Have you graduated from school? What kind of experience do you have?" You know, I mean, and so it's just kind of funny how they think we go from 0 to 1,000 in like a day.
Yeah. Well, what do you say to the kid that, you know, one of the other reasons why I love talking to people in your industry is because they see the people like you or like a Fred Blankenship or like a Dr. Oz or whoever, and they think you just got there. And they think, well, I could just get a YouTube page and a website or Instagram, and I'm going to be famous. What do you say to those people that do see people do that?
Well, you know, regardless, even those people had to put the work in.
Yes,
Okay?
that's true. Yeah.
So it was not an overnight success for these YouTubers, the bloggers, the V-bloggers, all these people, they actually put work in.
That's right.
It may have been a short period of time, and because of how society is today and that everything is about numbers.
Yeah.
So how many Instagram followers do you have, or how many Twitter followers do you have? Man, that's another job, but anyway.
That's another, but you know what I'm saying?
Social media is another job.
It's a whole nother job, but let me tell you something. I literally know people right now that get 100,000 likes or 1,000 likes or whatever little Instagram, ain't got a dime in their pocket.
Right.
And I'd rather have
some stability.
some stability as opposed to, you know what?
Yeah.
I'd rather be, you know, stable than well known.
But you know, that is it is a condition of this time that we're in, this generation that we're in. All of the digital natives who grew up with this, they came out the womb.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And everything, their life is take a phone from a kid and see how depressed they are.
I've got a 14-year-old.
Oh, yeah, take your phone and see what happens.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is just a condition of where we are today. And us as parents, as consumers, as people that care about this next generation, we've got to teach them about human relations, about touch, because a lot of kids, they rather text you, email you, not even email you today.
Just text
you. Or I'll WeChat you or WhatsApp you or something rather than have a conversation with you. So we're raising up all these kids that don't know how to talk.
They don't know how to have a conversation. And it's like when it comes, because you mentioned your first job was, you know, you try to be an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurship is part of the foundation that drives me. And I always think, how are they going to be entrepreneurs if they can't do this? You know? And I know you do something with entrepreneurs back in the black?
Oh, business in the black.
Business in the black. Yes.
Yeah, where I interview people from all walks of life, entrepreneurs, authors, CEOs, people that are doing good things, just like what you're doing right here. Okay. And it's
and what you're doing.
So I am the community liaison for KISS, and also I work in community affairs for Channel 2, which is People to People. We produce that show. And it's just an awesome thing to see people really that care about the community, that are still pushing and trying to do great things, and even not even getting credit for it.
Once again,
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So that's what we do.
That's exactly what we
bring
do.
them to light and let people say, hey, everybody's not shooting and killing. Everybody's not stabbing you in the back. Everybody's not out to get you.
You know what I tell people? The reason why that stuff is news is because it is unusual.
Right.
It's not usual to be going around killing people. And going back to entrepreneurship, there's a lot of great business people in our community that give back in the community. They support the community. They build businesses in the community, which creates jobs. And I really think that that's how our community is going to change. Would you agree with that, or do you see that? Okay.
In the last few years, women, just women, entrepreneurship has increased by 114%.
That's right.
And so women, and I asked about the age. The age is millennials.
Yep,
so
that's right.
Millennial women are creating jobs at such a fast rate.
Right.
They're creating their own opportunities.
That's right.
And that's something that we're going to have to do. The way that corporate America is kind of squeezing and pushing, and then our economy is squeezing and pushing. People have to look at, what would you do if you were not going to get paid for it? What is that thing that you love? What is your passion?
That's right.
Because you're going to have to lean on that in a minute and plant some groceries while you're at it.
That's right.
You might not have no food in a little bit. You know
and be comfortable with that.
Yes.
Be comfortable.
And be okay with that.
I always tell people, and it's my little joke that I say, but I was like, listen, you could drop me off in the middle of Texas with nothing, and I'd have a job or a business,
Thank you.
and I'd still make it because it's up here, and it's not right here.
Well, and it's the heart too.
Yeah,
you got to have the intellect to go with it and the
That's
know-how, but you also got to have the drive.
That's right.
And so sometimes that's where we're missing. I have two millennials.
Yeah.
I have a 28-year-old and a 31-year-old.
You don't say.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And
Black don't crack.
What? I got a 91-year-old grandmother. She look good. My mama, I ain't gonna tell my mama's age, but she in her 70s.
That puts you in your 30s, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not really, no. I'm in the 50 club, y'all.
I am too. I just joined the 50 club.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know that it gives you a whole new pep in your step when you turn 50.
It does. It really does. And I definitely got some pep in my step.
All right.
You know, my husband's like, whoa, what happened to you?
Say, baby, 50.
We'll leave that a whole nother
50.
That's going to be a whole other conversation.
True.
But back to your show. We're going to have to do this again. But on your show, I do know you that you really are concerned about the gospel community. And I do. If you get a chance to see some of my shows, I'm really passionate about what's going on in the Black church right now. And I really want to see us serve our community more.
Yes.
Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I think there's a gap that's not being filled.
And the gap again is the heart. Okay, it starts with the heart. And if you are a leader in anything, leadership serves. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
To be a leader, you must know how to serve.
That's right.
And there are a lot of churches who are doing great things.
Yeah.
But then you see some of the bigger churches, maybe not so much.
And that's what's hurting me,
That's
to be honest with you.
starting at the top now.
I know, but it's happening in our country.
Yes.
But it's also happening in our churches, and I joke about it a little bit where I say, the last thing we need is a bigger building, a bigger sound system, and a new cafe and skinny jeans.
Oh, yes.
That's not what's going to move people. What's going to move people is here. What difference are you making in a community? When you can be in a community for 20 years, pulling in $10 to $15 million a year minimum,
Okay.
and the community around you doesn't change,
There's a problem.
There's a problem.
There's a problem.
But what do we do to address that? Because I don't feel like when I talk to people one-on-one, they can agree with me. But collectively, it seems like people don't want to talk about that.
Well, collectively is the issue right now. There was a time when in the African American community, we were a community, and I mean really a community that loved each other, that touched each other, that were concerned about each other. And today we're in a society where you don't even know your neighbors. It's so funny. We moved into a subdivision about 4 or 5 years ago, and we never saw kids. We never saw people. People would drive into their garages, shut the door, and we never saw them.
Very insulated.
It was it's really strange. If you came from a place of community. And so I went next door to meet one neighbor. I love them. Exchanged numbers with them in case, I want to watch out for you. The community thing. But the neighbors across the street, their kids were outside playing, and I called my mom. I said, "Mom, they got children." Never knew they had
children,
kids. So we're in this society where every man is sort of an island, and that's not how God created us.
No, right.
God created us for connectivity.
That's
He
right.
created us for family.
That's right.
He created us for
Even the most lonely
connectedness.
still needs somebody.
Exactly.
We all need somebody.
Exactly. So we're just in that place, and I think one by one,
Yeah.
if you're that community person, you need to go out and make it happen. Go knock on some doors. Go say hello. But we've just forgotten how to do all of that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
What happened
but
is
we can bring
we
it
make
back
money.
though.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? And it's true. I gotta go get mine.
Yeah.
But that I gotta go get mine mentality does not mean you have to leave out
Right.
your community.
Right.
And you do a lot of great things in the community. And in fact, I guess you're considered like a community liaison with what you do. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Love my job. Never thought in a million years I would be where I am. And that's just God.
That's your heart.
And that's just God because, and sometimes I just tell him, just thank you. I never thought I would be here.
Yeah.
Never. I just received an award from President Obama, signed by President Obama, for a Lifetime Achievement Volunteer Award. That I have over 4,000 hours of volunteer work. I'm like, really? Oh my gosh.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that volunteer work. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more to the beautiful Twanda Black. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I am your host, Donnie Jones, and we are here with the incomparable Twanda Black, and we're talking about great things that she's doing in the community. And before we went to break, we were talking about community, but one of the things you said, which I kind of want to piggyback on, is that you said, you never thought you'd be here. Can you kind of explain why? Why that's the case?
Because I thought I was going to be an English teacher. Or work in PR, which I tried that.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell into this broadcast thing.
Yeah. Well, you're good at it.
And I love people. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
I love interviewing people. My mom says, you don't interview everybody. But just in Walmart, in Kroger, just talking to people, because I know the times when I was hurting and in so much pain and nobody talked to me. And nobody came to hug me, or nobody said, "Can I help you?" or anything. I just remember those days. So it's just incumbent on me, just me, to just not meet a stranger.
Yeah.
And that's just how I am. I don't meet strangers.
I couldn't imagine you. It's like even just walking through the door here, I'm like, I feel like I know her. She's an old friend. But it goes back to heart. It's like what you say, it's in there, What was your big break in being a broadcaster?
Ooh.
Or in this?
I think for me, a personal realization of what I bring to the table, what I'm good at, and how I serve the community.
Yeah.
I think once you find out and you realize, hey, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
And I can do this and I can make it better.
That's right.
That it's just not that one thing.
Yeah.
Or you're not one faceted as opposed to multifaceted.
Right.
And that you learn all you can.
Right.
And you don't miss opportunities, and you talk to everybody. Because I do.
Yeah, well, I can tell you. I can see that you do. But have you seen it has it been a blessing being in Atlanta, or has it been a hindrance being in Atlanta, being a woman of color, a brown-skinned woman of color? Because we talk about that a lot nowadays.
I think in Atlanta, in this market, it has definitely been a blessing.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Now, I didn't grow up thinking I was cute. Dark skin. Okay?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I grew up in that era of black wasn't good.
Yeah.
But I had, again, you have to come to your own
You have
realization.
to come to your,
and you have to say, this is how God made me.
That's right.
And that it's cool. I'm good.
Absolutely.
I'm good, yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. It's funny because I always had an issue with, I'm brown skinned, but I have a wider nose or fuller lips. And so I remember being 13, 14 years old and being in a school where everybody looked different.
Wow.
So I had to learn at an early age, okay, either I'm going to love myself or I'm going to look in the mirror and not like what I see. And I chose to like what I see. But I also had parents that encourage that, you know, and not everybody has that, you know.
Because what comes with that is self-destruction when you don't really recognize you. And, you know, I got teased about my little nose.
Really?
Where'd you get that little nose from? For real. For real. It doesn't crazy.
I got a funny story about
So while you got that nose, I got this nose.
I got a sister with a little nose, and they be like,
how do you breathe?
Who your dad? Who your dad? Actually, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, I got to get back on.
Don't get tickled because I get tickled.
I know, exactly. But, you know, but those are the type of things that we have to deal with. But to see that you've made your way regardless, like dark, tall, short, or whatever, in the communications industry, because a lot of times we think it is one-dimensional. Did you have to break some barriers when you first started?
Oh my gosh, I could tell you some stories, but we ain't even got
We ain't got time. You can tell a half a story. How about that? None of the stories.
I still work here.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Yes, I still work here.
Yes, we love WSB. We haven't mentioned where you work. Obviously, you know, you're in communications. We know you're in radio. Talk about the different places that you work in the entrepreneurial or the communications ventures that you're in right now.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's a multitude of them, y'all.
We, I work here at WSB,
Yes.
which is Channel 2, and KISS 104 is one of the stations. We have 5 stations here. So
And she runs all of them, y'all.
No,
I'm just.
I have like 10 jobs, but I love all of it.
Yeah.
But I sit on a few boards. One is Proverbial Peace Revive Ministries, and we do a thing called Woman to Woman, where we have this small enclave of women. They change, and we speak to the real hurts. Because, you know, for women, we get hurt maybe at 5, you got hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe at 6, somebody touched you, or at 7, somebody told you you were ugly. And women, we pile it on.
Yeah.
We never deal with our stuff.
Yeah.
And we just keep piling stuff on top of it. And then you become a woman and you're totally broken.
Yeah.
And crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're bitter and you're angry and you don't even know why. You haven't dealt with any of the hurts.
Yeah.
And so as we get older, those hurts get bigger.
That's
You know,
right.
my husband left me, my kids acting crazy, all of that. And so we deal with those things.
Yeah.
So we watch women come in darkness and they leave just full of
I
light.
would love to find out, because I work with young girls and women, and I would love to be able to connect with you on
We
that.
do teen dating too. Teen dating violence, actually. Atlanta is #1 in teen dating violence. So
wow.
imagine if we're #1 and how they reported it. Imagine all the things that didn't get reported.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we deal with that. And then another group I'm with is called Able To. And we deal with artists who have disabilities.
Wow.
Performing artists.
Okay.
So singers,
We should have made this an hour-long
dancers.
show instead of half an hour.
Yes. Singers, dancers.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got to see some of the stuff we've done. It's
Yeah.
been phenomenal. One of our hosts is a comedian called Mr. Miracle. He has cerebral palsy, and he is so funny. He's a
Okay.
comedian. He's a stand-up comic.
Okay.
We have an Elvis impersonator. But all these people have disabilities,
Yeah.
and they're so talented.
Yes.
So talented. So
But that's a wealth. There is a wealth of talent in
Absolutely.
the disabled community, but we don't tap into it.
But no, and a lot of them are afraid to come out because they're afraid of being judged and how
Yeah.
people look at them.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're working with. It's called Able To, able2.org.
Yeah.
And the last one, this huge one, Praise Factor, which is a platform for independent gospel artists. And we have our Praise Factor Gospel Choice Awards in September 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, I believe,
Yes.
right here in Atlanta. And we have artists coming this year from 15 countries
Oh, wow.
coming to perform. And when I tell you they are awesome, awesome. So awesome. So that's another thing that I do. And because, you know, I feel like God gives us so much.
Yes.
He's given us so many gifts and talents.
Yeah.
So many. Let's use all of them.
That's right.
I want you to go to your grave empty, all right? Don't
Les
go
Brown talks about that. Yes.
Talking about the
Absolutely.
graveyard is the richest place in the world. No. You leave it right here.
That's right.
And go to the grave empty.
And it looks like you are leaving it right here.
Girl, I'm trying.
That's right.
I'm trying.
So for people that want to get in contact with you, or for people that want to connect with you, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, how do we get in contact with you or support you?
Twanda Black, and I do have a website, twandablack.com. I think my Twitter is, I don't know. Let me just be honest. I don't know. It's something. I do have a Twitter account, but y'all can find me on Twitter.
Y'all Google her, okay? And just follow her wherever she's at. I love it. Before we wrap up, what would you like for people to know about you that we don't know about you?
In my quiet time,
Yeah.
I do nothing.
Oh,
I sit, I rest, I recharge, I read my Bible, I pray, I meditate, because you have to stay grounded in this business.
Yeah, you do.
And don't forget, it doesn't take much just to be kind, just to say a kind word, to say hello. A lot of people won't even speak today.
That's right.
So, just the kindness. I love people.
I can tell you love
do.
people.
I do.
And you know what? People love you.
Thank
And it's because of who you are that we're thankful that you gave us the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. Well, you guys, thank you for joining us on Donnie Jones Live. Twanda, thank you for being a guest on Donnie Jones Live. And just go out and be your best self. And like Twanda says, I'm going to plant a little seed. Leave it all right here. Don't go to the grave with it. Leave it right here. Get started on whatever your dream is and reach for the stars. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Cool.
I didn't see you go like that, but I thought I saw something, so that's why I started wrapping up.
Yeah, you was right.
Well, I was right.
Yeah,
Okay, guys, I just want to make sure, because usually he'll do something, and I'm like, I didn't see it click, but it feel a little,
Yeah.
but it felt like it was the right
you
time.
was perfect. It was that time. When I stood up. Like when you in church, when you stand up and pull the keys out.